you all for joining us today on this Monday, July 24th, 2023. We are happy to be here with you tonight, and we are ready to start our meeting. I'm going to be taking the names down for your chance to win the $300 at the end of the meeting. You do have to stay until the end of the meeting in order for you to be able to qualify for the $300 prize if you were to be picked when we pick those names out. So please stay until the end of the meeting if you want to find out if you're one of the winners, and also if you're on the top 3 for the MVO award. Without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and let Peter start the meeting.
Yes, thank you all for joining us. Thank you for being here on this day, on this evening. I know that a lot of you are tired from the day of work, but I have some great news to give you guys update on, and just before I go into all the details and stuff like that, I just want to make sure that a disclaimer, I am going to be talking about spot market specifically overall. We sometimes touch base on other stuff, but spot market specifically for trucking, because that's where we are. That's what you guys are mostly doing. Yes, but I am really excited because everything that I've been pretty much talking about and everything that I've been hoping to see, it's pretty much happening. You know, in some ways, I'm even surprised just how much, I don't know, not to toot in my own horn and stuff like that, but it's definitely happening pretty much to where I was expecting it to. If you recall, we started talking about this in the beginning, I want to say middle of last year specifically, what's about to come, where we had it, and so forth. And I've talked to and seen many different reports by now, and even talked to a lot of you guys, to see what's out there, and just looking at everything, it's clear that we are gone through the worst case, which first quarter was not a good quarter. It wasn't really doing much, in the third quarter, but I'm happy to say finally it's starting to move the needle. And I know that a lot of you follow this, but I just wanted to kind of go through a couple different slides here to kind of show you what I mean. And to start it off, I want to start with this specific slide that I'm showing. Yes, annual inflation rate. This is a report that I got from BMO, actually, and they use it from Bureau of Labor of Statistics. But as you can see, it's starting dropping. The inflation rate is starting to drop, which is good. We're on the right path with that. As you know, and you probably heard by now, they're trying to control it, the Federal Reserve, and they're looking at this as one of the parameters. Another thing that they're looking at is the unemployment rate, which, if looking at previous corrections that we've had to go through, it's always a combination that they're looking at: inflation rate dropping and unemployment going up. And we're actually seeing that. A lot of people are asking, when is it going to happen? It's actually already happening. You like it or not, but it's already happening, because we've had to find some team members replacements even this year versus last year. There wasn't much to choose from last year, but I think we still got a pretty good person. And then this year it was amazing, because we literally had a whole bunch of people. Like, in the 32-hour window, I've lost how many applicants we've had tried to apply, but in person, over 25 or something, people came in, and we had 5 very, very good candidates to choose from. That it was really, really a big struggle because they were all really good. And with everything that you've heard, there's a lot of tech industry. They went through a cycle of unemployment. There's been a lot of, you hear all of these mega companies, dropping in the employment. And also trucking, of course, went through its own, cycle. And that's been going on. It started, I want to say towards the end of third quarter. Fourth quarter and third quarter of last year wasn't that much seeable because we still had, that's mostly the best time for the trucking. But then first quarter of this year, it started to, show. And since then, we've seen, I've talked to, different trucking companies who say, yes, they're started to kind of go up in May, maybe June, but it's without shadow of a doubt that today in July, it's actually starting to pick up. Now, a lot of you will be like, great, what am I going to expect? Is it going to be, what I saw a year ago rates? Well, no, that's not what I'm talking about, okay? Please, I'm not trying to deceive anybody here. I'm not trying to lie to you guys. I'm trying to say it how it is, but please make sure you understand the context that I'm showing. The biggest thing that I've been trying to show you guys a trend is the 4-year cycle, and then the yearly cycle, and then the economy cycle of 8 to 12 years. So last time we've seen something like this was probably around 2008, and it's true. I mean, when that economy went down, we've had a combination of those cycles at the bottom, and it's very similar to what we're seeing actually this time around this year. But anyway, my point is the inflation rate, it's starting to be within realms that the feds are going to, like. Now, according to my bank, BMO, Frost, Wells Fargo, and Truist Bank, I also talked to them, and they all say that according to feds, it's possible that they will raise the rates this month just a little bit, and maybe another one's coming later this year. But nevertheless, whatever they're trying to do, it's most likely going to finish this year, which I definitely see that because remember, I've said before that a trucking company always predates whatever the economy will do by approximately 6 months. Well, today is July. 6 months is towards the end of this year. So if our rates and stuff are going to start to go up, then we should see that approximately, give or take, for the economy to happen, in the 6 months. It's very, very hard to predict the future, just like anyone will say. I do not have a crystal ball. Okay, but if we're following the trends, that's supposed to happen, which actually makes sense, because if we are talking about the interest rates starting to drop sometime by the end of the year or beginning of next year, that means we should start to see something positive coming for us in the trucking spot market specifically. So let's see. Let's look at this. So this report, well, I'll come back to this report in a minute, but look at this. As far as frequency data, as far as weekly economic index, you can start to see that on here it's starting to gradually turn the slope, and that is exactly what I'm looking at. I'm not looking all of a sudden the graph showing steep upwards. Actually, I don't want it to be that, because if you look at here, back when COVID happened, look how fast it dropped and then how fast it went up. It has its own pros and cons of having this type of market. I look at it, or at least from now that I'm looking back, it was like drinking from a fire hose. It was a lot of water. It was really good, but it didn't last long because the water, spewed out really fast. And overall, it was interesting, something to go through. But to me, according to previous cycles that I've had, I wasn't able to get the most out of it like I would in the previous cycles. And it's true for many other truckers. Rates, as far as rates, this is spot rates specifically for reefers, vans, dry vans. As you can see, we're starting to see the flip. Okay, we're starting to see. Can we show the sorry. There you go. Yeah, so spot rates for reefer, flatbed, and dry van. And this is exactly what I was expecting, what I was wanting to see. Remember, I was showing that we will most likely hit the equilibrium sometime this summer. June, I was saying approximately June-ish or something like that. July, which is what we're seeing on here. Again, I'm not saying that all of a sudden you will have $5, per mile, but the trend is what we're looking for, because as soon as we see that trend, that signals us that the market, the supply and demand has switched. And that's what we see for vans. Reefers, obviously that had to do with harvest, but harvest will continue most likely, well, not most likely, it is going to continue because of just how the harvest wave goes through United States. It starts off in Florida, finishes in Washington State, and it does that, through starting in May and going into November-ish and stuff like that. So yeah, we saw that. We're starting that, the tip going up. On vans, we're starting to see some of that go up, but we're probably going to see more on vans because there's school supplies, that's coming up. Yeah. That's going to move the needle for vans. In fact, vans, historically, as you can see, it's always been lower than others. Because the operational cost is much lower, but they all kind of move in the same area. So, if one goes up, then the others usually do. And then sometimes you've seen that, they actually kind of flip back and forth between each other. And then this is very important, this graph, total spot loads availability. So if you look at it, obviously we're much lower than we have been with previous years, and that's expected. But as we see the volumes come back, and we're probably going to see, as we get closer towards the end of the year, we will see this coming back. But I don't foresee it too much because of how the market is. Economy market is. So most likely we will see much more volume going up next year, especially when the Fed rates go down, because everybody will start to get more excited about things and so forth, spending more money and thus making more movements for all of us. But what I'm going to be looking for gradually, most likely gradually, it's going to start to go up and gradually go up all the way till elections. And then after the 2024 elections, watch me. I'm just, you know how they say, watch my beer, right? Hold my beer. It's true. It's most likely going to happen all the way till the end of, you know, when the elections happen. And then after the elections, the volume is just going to spike up. It's been doing this, you know, for a lot of other years. This is just normal. And why? Because everybody's just kind of waiting and seeing what's going to happen. And then as soon as the election is done, to some degree, I've said it doesn't even matter who gets elected, because people are just waiting to see what happens. And then based on the, you know, whoever wins, they will say, okay, yes, I will spend more money right now, at least for the next year or two. You know, but either way, whoever gets elected, they will spend money after that, because there's not going to be an election to worry about till next 2 years or so. So that's this. And then if you look at spot rates separately, this is the same thing what I showed you before, but this is more like, I guess, individually. Yes, you can see that it's a similar thing. Like, yes, we are starting to see something, but bottom line, what I was really looking at is as far as economics, as far as rates, as far as you know, this equilibrium, and you know, it's not. Again, it's not something that's going to be, oh my gosh, you know, all of a sudden everybody jump in type of thing. That's not what we need. We need just a flip to be able to have the trend starting to go up. Actually, let me go back to this. This shows, this is, I mean, you can see that the last report on this, for example, is 7/14. So that's, the new one's gonna come out tomorrow, actually. But it's not going to change much. But from what I'm seeing is there's a lot more green showing up. And if you look at the percentages, you know, they're much smaller. So it's comparing, it's an index that's comparing the previous week to this week, if it's moving up or down. And this is similar logic that we use on PDP website, actually. But the idea is we're starting to see more green, if that makes more sense. And the changes, even though if they're small, they're still positive. That's what I'm saying. And yes. But anyway, and of course, when we're looking at this specifically, we're not just looking at you know, spot markets, but specifically how the economy is doing, how the economy is performing. Yes, but there's some good news here. And then I wanted to show this really quick. I was talking about this, but I wanted to have some kind of graph to show you, you know, kind of like, why is it good or bad, or is it good or bad for us as truckers, you know, if the rates go up really fast, you know, like to have another fire hydrant type of blowout sale like we did, you know, after COVID. And look what happened after COVID. This is history since 2006, which is actually when we started PDP. And if you look and see, you have, this is the DOT operating authorities. If you know about trucking, there's about a little over a million trucking companies in the U.S. alone operating on average. And only about, I want to say 10 or something percent that are over 20 trucks, and only 2% that are over 100 trucks. You know, so, you know, you look at these mega companies that have thousands of trucks, there's only a few of them. You can literally count them, you know, on one piece of paper, okay? But the rest, it's all small truckers, you know, 1, 2, 5 trucks and so forth, you know, up to 20. But what happens, this shows, you know, how much, you know that whole idea about the waves and on the shore. A lot of guys, they wait on the shore and just hoping to see when the rate's starting to go up, and then they start to jump in. Well, what happens after COVID, right here? COVID happened in 2020. Look, it was normal, not too much big, not too much small. But as soon as COVID finished, look at just how fast it started to go up. And you had a whole bunch of these guys come on, and probably towards the middle towards 2021, you had very, very overpriced trucks. Everything overpriced pretty much. Okay, and this is where a lot of them ask me, well, okay, when's the best time to get into trucking? Well, it's certainly not at this peak. Okay, it's not during this peak. Is it good on the downward side? I mean, maybe, but each one of the seasons has its own pros and cons about when you get in. In my opinion, I'm not changing my opinion about this. The best time to get in is now, and I will tell you that now is every day of the year. Okay, because if you're not in the water, how can you gauge and know what is good, what is bad in the market if you're not actually in? Are you really going to rely on your buddy or somebody else who brags about it? Well, guess what? He ain't going to be bragging until he's doing really good. And by the time he's really good, we're at this peak. And that's when you don't want to get in, when it comes to buying a truck. It's, yes, you want to get in during that time because you have good paying rates, okay, but not to buy trucks. So like right now, for example, say what?
Trucks and trailers.
Yeah, trucks and trailers. For now, for example, we've seen the prices of the trucks drop significantly, but the rates aren't that good, okay? So when's the best time? Well, you just have to get in. And looking at this, looking at the nets and revocations and so forth, you see how high it went up? Okay, this is how much DOT operating authority have been added, in that 1 week or 1 year. I'm sorry, this is per year. So imagine how high it went up. Well, the higher you go, the more you have to fall. And see how, it had to fall. It fell. Okay, and look at all of the aftershock. So, you have more chances of picking up these deals right now because they're out of business. Yes, and it was the same thing back in 2008, 2009 with the houses. It's very hard to find that right now, those type of deals, because you need the right timing for that. Okay. So my point is, it has its own pros and cons when and stuff like that. But today, with the spot market the way it is, with the economy the way it is, we're pretty much done through the worst, meaning the first quarter was when all three markets were at the low point. Okay, we started to see some of it starting to come back in second quarter. You could see more, markets starting to spike with better paying loads. But I'm not talking about like, oh my gosh, like, oh my, like it's so good type of thing. It's just starting to spike and signaling us, okay, so there's something to look here. And even right now, to be honest, you still have markets that are much smaller, okay? But they're not as big as they were in 2021, where in 2021 you were able to literally go anywhere and just get stupid money for anything and ask for pretty much anything, and you will be given most likely, just because of the way the market was. Today, those markets are much smaller. You still have niche markets that you can find that, but it's not as often. But what I am basically saying is, now that we are in the third quarter and the fourth quarter, we will start, because of the trend starting to go up, we will most likely see brokers and shippers understanding, okay, so we're not in a downward, so there it doesn't make sense for me to spend time on, nickel and diming every little thing to go even lower, because that time's over. If there was any testing for them to do to see how low they can go, that was the first quarter, okay? Maybe beginning of second quarter. But right now, it's most likely they're just not going to be able to do that, and they won't do it as much. But again, if you follow the maps, if you follow the markets, where they at, if you try to go into the areas that are, I mean, we can probably go over that maps again. I don't want to have to spend time on that because I don't want to make this meeting too long. But my point is, we are finally finished with my 5th cycle, and we're literally at the beginning of the 7th cycle because I started it in 2006. And this is very, very exciting news because we finally can start planning. With it's much easier to plan in advance if you have something of a slow market up and down, than you would if what you have with COVID. COVID did a lot of things on the shortage side, because I feel like if the market, if we as an industry had the ability to produce and do everything that we did, like to capture, we could have done even better, I think, but we couldn't because we were like, hands behind our back because of just all the stuff that's, that happened after COVID, with some markets still closed down and not be able to fill the orders. But anyway, my point is, if we, as a spot market, as a trucking market, if we going to continue on this trend for the rest of this year, okay, more and more we'll be able to, increase on the net. And that's what I'm really at. I'm not really worried about, let's bring the rates per mile higher. I mean, yes, its own pros and cons about that. But what I'm really after is the net profit, because you as an owner-operator, that's your money in your pocket, okay? The more we can increase that for the rest of this year and continue on for next year. Another reason why next year has very, very good potential of continuous this increase is because of elections that, the election year, they really, really have to show themselves that they're doing good. They fixed the economy. Watch me. They're all going to say on the news, we fixed the economy. It's perfect now. Nothing to worry about. And that's what's going to be happening next year. And with that, if we have the market where we are continue going up and not a lot of newcomers coming in like they did in 2020 and 2021 because of COVID, then we can ride this wave, a perfect wave for a long term, and we will see longer increase rate, gradual increase rate. We will see longer profits, all of us, and when to reset the next cycle won't require such a big dip, and we can, with very minimum preparation, go through that next reset and continue doing that for the next cycle and the next cycle, and exactly like it was, before. So this is why I actually like what I'm seeing right now, because if it's more softer, or you can prolong it and make the most out of it. Just to finish up, basically, I really, really like what I'm seeing. My overall observation is we finished with the worst, and we're finally here in the third quarter where it's starting to pick up. With this trend, we already seen a lot of local trucks leave and do their local stuff, so we will see, continuous better rates for us because again, supply and demand. Harvest that's already in its works. It's different this year though because of California and the droughts they had there, and then too much snow. So it's just different, okay? And if you look and hear what's going on don't be stuck with what you did, 2 years or 3 years ago, and oh my gosh, like that. No, there's loads to find. It's just a matter of finding the niche and maybe changing or adapting a little bit. But overall, yes, it's possible to profit right now. And again, the thing that you're after is the net profit. So that's why we did what we did with equipment, prices when we slashed those. Insurance, we've seen everyone got quite a bit discounted on that. Yes, and I'm sorry about maybe if I wasn't clear on what I meant with that, but yes, we did see the premiums for the cargo and liability go down, and then the percentage rate for how much the physical damage is, that went down too. So everybody saw a decrease for sure, but because everybody has different setup, you have truck only with us, or you have truck and trailer with us, or you only have trailer with us, or you don't have truck. You just came on with your own truck and trailer. So everybody's different on all of those, but nevertheless, everybody got a big discount on that, and that's good. I'm just very, very happy with that. And as long as if we keep on trend, next year when the renewal happens, it's just a matter of keeping our scores below. Yes, and you guys, every single one of you guys doing your part. Yes, and yes, but when it comes to, I just want to show, let's see, supply and demand. So we got the harvest, school supplies, and then Christmas negotiations. They're going to be happening actually this quarter. So yeah, all of those things, they play in hand with the supply and demand. But then I wanted to show you this picture that I keep you guys updated on all the time. So I changed my guy to starting to come or stand up on the boat. And there's a huge big meaning behind that. But the idea is, you're not laying down anymore. You're not standing yet, okay? But we're about to. And this process, it's going to be slow. It's going to be sure. So prepare for it, okay? But here's the thing. If you, as an owner-operator, are able to profit right now by budgeting, by making sure that your operational expense is as low as possible, with the rates right now. Imagine, you don't have to be, a rocket scientist, but just do basic math and imagine if you have exactly the same expenses, but now your rate per mile went up, your net will go up too, of course. And that's what will help you to brag, in a year or two, to those truckers, I'm making almost millions from every load. That's how it happens. That's how it works. And if you can do this repeated for a long period of time to make the most out of it, that's how you're able to stand up and prepare yourself for the next and so forth, and do much, much better than what the drivers are being paid. Because if you go as a driver, this whole logic and everything that I'm showing you guys, this is exactly what the trucking companies do. They're preparing for these, and they know all of these trends, and they are ready for these trends up and down. And they just pay something that they're comfortable with paying, but also, you know, they need to make money too, right? So they're trying to see how they can maximize it. So during the good years, they make a killing, you know, because of this, because of them, you know, budgeting and so forth. But anyway, my point is, it's going to be a slow recovery, yes, but in many ways, we want it to be a slow recovery, because if it's anything else, where it's going to be like drinking out of fire hose, and it's just going to be too much, too fast, and you can't make the most out of that. It's going to be gone really fast, because the reserve of how much water is in this wave, it's always approximately the same, okay? And how much can you gobble up if it's going at you so fast? Yeah, so what I was saying was, I have nothing against people coming back into the market that's been trucking before, and they live in US and so forth. Like, there's room for that in the market. What I'm saying is, during 21, when the rates went up so fast, there were some companies that brought millions of dollars from other countries just to buy trucks, just to put trucks on the road, because they could, rotate it and make it really good for them at that time. And that's the bad thing. What happens? I mean, when you have outsiders start to just it's not going to last long. Okay, there's not enough for all of us. I mean, I want to help everyone around the world, but there's just not enough to go around the world for everyone. And that's a fact. So it's in our best interest, the way, for us to see this next to be a normal, as much as we can, type of wave. So, and with that said, that's pretty much all I already said about the insurance dropping. We still have equipment, trailers, vans available, mostly vans. So just, let us know if you need any of that. And that's that. So we have a little bit time for some questions. If you have any questions, anything about what I spoke about, maybe to clarify something, or if you just want to make a comment, you can message us right now. Yes, and we're gonna be ready to do the name calls and everything in a minute. So, any questions?
Can we speak on the Easy Pass? Yeah, the Easy Pass.
Yes, let's talk about Easy Pass. What's up, Jimmy?
No, I was asked the other day that I have one, and I did not have one, and it was going to be sent to the house. If you would just speak on that, on how we're doing it.
Okay, billing actually takes care of that, Jimmy. I can ask them tomorrow morning and see if they have sent it to you. They usually send it to your home address. We only have Easy Pass, Florida and Texas available for our trucks. So if you requested one from them, they should probably be sending that to you if they haven't sent it already. The tolls get posted every Thursday through your dashboard. So if you have a PDP truck and you have any of those three toll tags, or Easy Pass, Texas toll tag, or the Florida one, which is Sun Pass, then those will be posted and charged on Thursday. I can check for you tomorrow morning.
Okay. Yep. Well, are those just the only two states that are covered, or is it a big multiple package? That's
on the Easy Pass, there is several states that are covered. We can send you more details also in the morning, just so that you know where it's actually going to be useful for you. And then on the Texas one and the Florida one, those are kind of like only for those states. But I can have billing send you more information in regards to the Easy Pass and what states will be included on that.
Okay, thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Jimmy.
Yes. Anyone else? Maybe you want to unmute yourself, or if you want to just message, please go ahead. Yeah, Daryl C says that He has his own Easy Pass, and that covers most of tolls. It's easy to set up. From what I understand, Easy Pass is one of the big ones out there. So yes,
Covers
they
several
would.
states, yeah.
Yeah, they have quite a big coverage. Yep, but there's not like it's very hard to find one that covers absolutely everyone, because there's some of these states that are just like, nope, we have our own unicorn.
If we don't have any more questions, we can go ahead with the MVO, and we can also start with the wheel of names.
Yeah, so if you do have any questions that you maybe thought of later, just call us,
Send them our way.
send a message. Yes, we'll be glad to answer. Yes, so let's start with the wheel of names. So BTO, what we do, we will call two names. You have to be here present, but hey, every single one of you get positive 3 points on our BTO cards. So that's good news also for you. So let's go ahead and do that really quick. Give me 1 sec.
While Peter is doing that, I did want to mention that we had 3 birthdays on the team this past weekend. Peter was one of them. Peter's birthday was yesterday, so happy birthday, Peter.
Thank you.
We also had Courtney on the admin department, and we also had Ed, which is our mechanic at LKG. So they all had birthdays this weekend. We celebrated them today. We like celebrating birthdays here in the office, so we made sure that we had a celebration for all 3 of them earlier today. So I just wanted to mention that. If you guys talk to them, just let them know that you know about their birthday and wish them, a happy birthday. It's never too late to wish them a happy birthday. Peter is working on the names,
Thank
so
you.
we're gonna go ahead and pull those 2 names. As we stated, you do need to be here. You do need to be in the meeting. If you call your name and you do not answer or send us a message, then we're gonna go ahead and pull a different name.
All right,
Okay.
so without further ado, the first winner is what do you know? Daryl C.
Daryl C.
Congratulations.
Daryl. He just messaged about the Easy Pass, so Daryl.
Wow. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Thank you
He's
very
here,
much.
so he gets
Congratulations.
$300. Yes. All right, moving on to the second one.
Yeah, interesting. Bob Ellis, he has Texas state inspections. Cars don't do it anymore. Is that true or false for commercial vehicles?
As far as we know, Texas state inspections are still required for commercial vehicles. In fact, I just did a couple of titles today, title paperwork, and they did require for those Texas inspections. So as far as we know, they're still required for commercial vehicles.
That would be nice if they did it, but yeah.
It would be nice, yes.
All right, so second winner is
Dean Means.
Dean
Congratulations, Dean.
Dean, are you here?
Dean Means.
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, congratulations.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Congratulations.
All right, thank you.
Yes, congratulations.
All right. Thank you.
Alrighty. And also on the Most Valuable Operator Award, if you know or if you don't know how that works, it has to do with, let me pull this up right here.
Safety.
Yeah, so has to do with safety performance, 2/3 of that. So it has to do with logs, how you operate your ELD logs, and then it also works with your roadside inspections. So how you do roadside inspections, how you pass them, and then investigations in the office, any of that, it's all 2/3 of the points. and then the financial performance of the gross loads. It does a calculation with all of that, and then first place gets $1,000, second place gets $750, and the third place gets $250. The first place is Mario Sims. Okay, Mario Sims, you get $1,000 because you're the most valuable owner-operator. Congratulations. Okay. Yes, and second place, it's Michael Christ. Congratulations, Michael. And then a third place, it's Jake Hughes. Congratulations. Okay, so that's $2,000 coming to you guys. If you have any questions about any of this, let us know. But we have... the next meeting will be on August 14th. It's a Monday, 6 p.m. I really want to see where we are with the market, how it progresses. But what I predict is, again, we're going to see a slow, continuous going upward. And that's what we want. That's what we want to see. So I'll probably show you a little bit on that time and, how far we've gone. But I think that for next, I want to say 2, maybe even 3 years, we will most likely see the upward trend. And again, just focus on your budget, focus on, lowering your operational cost as much as possible. And it's always different for everyone because, if you have a older truck, but your payments are much lower, then that's fine. That's great because even if the truck does break down, you have some room in there. If you have a brand new truck, well, still try to keep it as low as possible. But you're probably not going to see as much repairs and stuff like that, but you will be able to still profit because of the low cost of operational cost. And that's what we're here to. We're trying to make that work for every single one of you. If you have a comment or if you want to bring that up to us individually, let us know, me and Myra. Yes, but we're here for you. Thank you guys so much. It's 7 o'clock. We made it in 1 hour. Yes, we'll see you next time. God bless.